Trump has not punished senior Saudi leaders. Would you?
Yes, and I would make it very clear. We were not going to, in fact, sell more weapons to them. We were going to, in fact, make them pay the price and make them, in fact, the pariah.
That was on the campaign trail. This is the Biden administration in power.
We are very focused on future conduct, and that is part of why we have cast this, not as a rupture, but a recalibration.
I want to look at how this complex bond between the US and Saudi Arabia won't easily be broken, regardless of who's in the White House. Here's the official explanation.
Our objective is to recalibrate the relationship, prevent this from ever happening again, and find ways, as there are still, to work together with Saudi leadership while still making clear where we feel action is unacceptable.
That may be the objective, but others are suggesting there's an evergreen rule of politics at play here.
Really easy to preen and promise that you're going to do very tough things when there's nothing you can do. The moment the reins of power are in your hand, it's a lot more complicated to do the things you promised when you were just the campaign guy.
And it is a lot more complicated. That's true for every leader assuming power. Donald Trump saw the world as America first, America versus everyone else. Joe Biden has a more global perspective, but he knows, all American presidents know, that empires don't last forever, and nor do superpowers. America can see a surging China, a resurgent Russia. And if you listen to this commentator, that means decisions that are both unpalatable and inevitable.
The reality is you'd rather have a flawed and perhaps even deeply flawed ally than an adversary in this era of new power and big power competition, where Saudi Arabia might depend more on China, more on Russia.
Little thing going on. It's minor enough that it hasn't got a lot of press attention, although where I saw it is in the reporting out of Russia. And that is that according to this Russian reporting, and you got to take everything coming out of there with a grain of salt, but according to the reporting, Biden has ordered the Pentagon to take the Patriot missiles out of the Persian Gulf region. Now, if you've been following this, there's been missile attacks on Saudi Arabia, oil refineries, and some fairly severe, where certainly there's been damage to killing both people and damaging facilities. Oil facilities are the main targets. And these are coming from terrorist groups and opposing forces in the region. Patriot missiles and some of the other things there are ground to air, like anti-missile defense systems and things like that. I don't know the justification or the logic that apparently the Biden administration is using is that they want Saudi Arabia to take on a greater role, financial role in their own defense, and that these Patriot missiles and the forces that we have posted there to do all of this stuff is too expensive. And so he's trying to cut costs based on that. Now, I don't think that is the main motivation. In fact, I think what this is actually payback for Khashoggi. And if everyone remembers, Khashoggi was the so-called journalist, but he's a Muslim Brotherhood guy and an activist for Muslim Brotherhood. He was, part of essentially a terrorist organization, and would occasionally publish articles here in the Washington newspapers. He's no friend to the United States or anything, but for whatever reason, the extreme left and the extreme Islamic movements have kind of joined at the hip to fight, I guess, the American way. I think that's actually what's going on here. This is revenge for Khashoggi, and so they're pulling this out, and now they're going to supposedly work with the Saudis to discuss sales of missile interceptors, which would be a Patriot system. Perhaps they now want to sell it to them, or expanded intelligence sharing and additional military training. So interesting little thing, but certainly, like I said, out of Russian reporting, but all this rings true to me. I think it's all dead on. Haven't seen confirmation in any of the U.S. reporting or from the Pentagon, a statement or anything of that nature yet. May or may not come out, but this has been made public. Interesting development if this is all true. Like I said, I think this is politics as usual, and not doing. Here's my problem with this, by the way. This is not making decisions based on what's best for U.S. national security. This is making decisions based on political motives, and it's one of the problems we always have out of the left. It's why we can't have communists, socialists, progressives, liberals in charge of national security. It's too dangerous because the way they view the world is political. You know, they don't view the world realistically as it is and do pragmatic things.
ويا ولي العهد يا محمد سلام، كل قلب صرت له انت الحبيب، يا سنام المجد ما فوقك سنام، تبطي العربان مثلك ما تجيب. يا ولي العهد يا محمد سلام سلام، كل قلب صرت له انت الحبيب، يا سنام المجد ما فوقك سنام، تبطي العربان مثلك ما تجيب، ارتقي وياك شعبك للغمام، ما معك شيء على دارك صعيب، ما يبارك العدو وانت الحزام، تخطي العدوان وافعالك تصيب. حي نورك سيد الشهماء الامام، حي شمسك جعل شمسك ما تغيب، دارنا واللي نصاها ما يضام، من يعادها على غيظه يشيب، دارنا يا دار بيت الله الحرام، قبلة الإسلام والصدر الرحيب، دارنا واللي نصاها ما يضام، ومن يعادها على غيظه يشيب، دارنا يا دار بيت الله الحرام، قبلة الإسلام